This video is about the American value of success. Most sociologists would argue that success is the number one value in American society. It is the value that is most often promoted in American society. So let's talk about success. Success means to be ambitious. It means to want to have a better life, to have a higher standard of living than did your parents or your grandparents. It means to move up in life, to get a good job, to get a promotion. I would argue that the reason that most college students who attend college, most of you out there, is that you're going to college because of the value of success. I would bet that that's why most of you out there are going to college, because you want to be a success. And that's why you took sociology, right? Probably because you wanted to take it, because you knew I was a great teacher, huh? Anyway, back to success. Let's talk about success. When we look at success, in order to analyze it, we're going to divide it into several parts. So we're going to look at it first in terms of its positive impact on us as people and as society, and then again, its negative impact on us as individuals and society. Also, in looking at success and analyzing it, we're going to kind of break it down into two components. The first component of success is, how do you achieve success? What is the formula? And this formula for achieving success is competition and hard work. So what we're going to do in the beginning here is we're going to analyze the value of competition, because competition is an important value in American society. We are, in many ways, very competitive with each other. We compete a lot. And this value stresses that we're going to have to compete in order to be successful. And you should be aware of that. You're competing right now. You're competing with every other student in this country and maybe in many parts of the world who wants the same job that you want. You really are. You're competing with them, And in order to be successful and get that job, you're going to have to do well in school. You may have to go to grad school. You may have to compete to get into graduate school. And this is going to require, of course, a lot of hard work, right? So let's talk about competition. What's good about competition? Think for a second and say to yourself, what's good about it? There's got to be something good about it. I'll bet the first thing that comes to your mind, or comes to my mind, is that competition is a great motivator. If you know, and you keep thinking that you have to compete with others to get ahead, doesn't it motivate you to do your best, to try harder, to try to do better? So at an individual level, it motivates us to do better. It also motivates businesses to do a better job in selling their product and manufacturing and delivering their product. It's a great motivator because we're competing and we know we need to outperform our competitors. So I would think that the first thing we'd say is that competition is a great motivator. Next thing I think we'd say about competition, to be honest, is it feels good to win. Let's be honest. When you win, it feels good. It really does. But it's more than just that feeling. It's like this. There's an old saying I heard. It's called winning breeds winning, success breeds success. And what I think that means is that when you win, when you are successful, it raises your self-confidence. It raises your self-esteem. You start thinking, you know what? I can do it. When you go to college and you successfully complete classes, you start thinking, I am college material. I can make it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get out of college. I'm going to get that job and that degree. In other words, success in classes breeds the confidence that's very important that we need to feel that, well, yes, we can be a successful college student. And that will carry over into the workplace and business and so forth. Also, if you are successful, you get a lot of respect. People respect people who are successful. And therefore, that's kind of a nice benefit too. So we look at success and we look at competition, okay? We'll say the benefits of competition are it's a great motivator. It feels good to win. And that winning raises our self-esteem. Now, what's maybe negative or bad about competition? I would say stress. When you're competing, it's very stressful. You know that you have to outperform your competitors. You know that you have to do well. You know that you must perform. When I was in college, I had to sit down and take an all-day written exam for my last degree. And it stressed me out. And it was an exam in which, you couldn't cheat on. It doesn't matter. You couldn't, because I had to develop a program for public schools. They gave me an assignment and it said, you got to develop this. This is your question. And you got to develop this program and tell us what you would do, why you're developing this program. I had all day to answer this. And it was stressful because I knew before I had that exam that they were going to give me a question that was going to be difficult and I had to prepare for it. So I sat there for 8 hours one day and wrote an answer. And then 3 weeks later, I had to get in front of a committee and 3 of my college professors asked me questions about what I had said on that exam. And I had to answer those questions right there. Was that stressful? Yeah. And you'll have a lot of stress because of competition. And it's one of the things that is difficult to handle. Another problem with competition is when you lose. And almost all of us at times lose. We don't always accomplish our goals. And when we lose, we got to be careful because it feels bad to lose, and losing can lower our self-esteem. So that's another disadvantage. A final disadvantage of competition, in my opinion, is something I call dehumanization. I'll repeat that term, dehumanization. Dehumanization occurs, I think, because when we compete against people sometimes, it builds a kind of hostility. You're trying to outdo the other individual, the other group, or the other company, or the other country. And sometimes we don't look at our competitor as being fully human. Let me give you a simple example of this, okay? I was in a grocery store here in El Paso several years ago, and I heard the guy that was bagging the groceries. He was a high school guy, and he was talking to the clerk that was being the cashier, and he said something to this effect. He was apparently a student at Coronado, and he said that they were going to be playing Franklin in football that weekend, and he made the comment that all those kids that go to Franklin are a bunch of rich snobs. And when I heard this statement, I thought to myself, that's what competition can do. It can create a kind of hostility that causes us to dehumanize our opponents. And what do I mean by dehumanizing our opponents? What that is when you look at your opponent and you don't see them as a human. You see them as something other than human. For instance, in this case, he saw his opponents, the kids from Franklin High, as a bunch of rich snobs. Now, there might be a rich snob or two at Franklin High, but is everybody who's going to Franklin High a rich snob? No, certainly not. Rather than saying, hey, these are high school kids just like me, they want to win, I want to win, we all want to win the football game. No, he didn't say that. He called them rich snobs. This can cause us to look at other people and dehumanize them too. So rather than see them as individuals that we're competing against, they become the rich snobs. We put labels on people to take away their sense of humanity. And we see this, of course, if we were using conflict theory, we see a lot of this in war and in conflict, where we start calling our enemy all kinds of racial slurs and names to demean them rather than say they're human beings. People might call us imperialists. We might call them terrorists. We take away their humanity because we're competing, and therefore we want to win, and we don't want to always see them as a human being. So we've got to be careful about this dehumanization, where we don't look at our competitor as a human being, but we look at them as something less than a human being. We take away their humanity. So these are the pluses and minuses of competition. On the next video, we're going to look at another aspect of success. We're going to look at materialism and consumption, and the pluses and minuses of those two ingredients or components of the success value.